Hi, I am Lucy. It's my first year as a Brownie and Girl Scouts. Our troop is 476, and we are raising money to go sleep behind the penguins in SeaWorld. So scan the QR code below and help support us in our next adventure. Bye. Thank you.
John, you have to look at the camera too, please. Everybody's kind of interested. Blah, 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 blah. Good, good. That's very good. Good, good, good. Gift, maybe a hand gesture of some sort. Gift. So you like, yeah, you're right. Good. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, now we can do B-roll. This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained? Welcome back to the Rugby Odds, Season 6, Episode 16. I'm Matt McCarthy in New York City, and we have the band back together, including John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE Hall of Famer turned rugby advocate, King Gift Egbelu, inventor of words and father of twins, Lucas Friday's dad, Mike Friday, who just happens to be a three-time Olympic sevens coach, and, of course, George Hook, the Irish rugby legend. He'll be joining us later. Gents, our collective record, 6-6, not great, 500. And actually, we weren't all 500. Mike and I brought down the ship where John and Gift went 2-1 apiece. So, Mike, you and I have some work to do this week to make things better.
Not sure about that Toulon result, you know.
You do have a bit of controversy surrounding this Toulon pick.
I want a Stewart's inquiry on that. I'm pretty sure I picked Poe because I wanted Montoya to be playing. But anyway, we let it go. We move on.
Actually, Mike, you know what? You did indeed bring up Montoya. You said it was pending on whether he played. But what if he didn't play?
Well, I wouldn't have known that at the time, so I probably would have picked Poe. But anyway, you make a good point, but I still think that I would like a Stewart's inquiry on this.
Well, management's going to take it under consideration.
Exactly what we need, a steward's inquiry.
And Mike, the management has just ruled in your behalf. So we're going to change that record. Wow. And you are now 2-1 on the weekend. Congratulations, Mike Friday.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Coach Friday.
Stood up for his rights and he won. Very rare indeed.
Very, very rare in the US.
It is these days.
All right, gents, let's go right to our first recurring segment. What caught your eye? Mike, what caught your eye last weekend?
Gotta be honest, not a great deal. I was pretty disappointed with the level of rugby last week, if I'm honest. I watched across all three leagues. And it was a bit lackluster, kind of almost in transition mode because we're waiting for the Six Nations. So it just kind of raises that ugly question you talk about your calendars and so forth. Like, did we need this week, or could it have just been a down week in preparation for what's coming in the Six Nations? So just disappointing in this level of standard across the board on the rugby.
I'm with Mike. There's no reason to have these games of rugby if you're not going to put out teams that fans really want to see. You know, fans want to go out and see the games, but if you're not putting out a high level, then no reason to put it out. But that being said, Glasgow did boat race them boys from Munster. Yeah, they beat the shit out of the Irish boys.
It was
with their Polynesian back line and everything, where they're colonizing freaking rugby around the world. How about the Glasgow boys? Showed up in their kilts and boat raced them boys from Ireland.
Clearly, you didn't watch the match because it was a tale of two matches. Munster dominated the second half and almost came back and beat them in Glasgow.
You're right. What was the score? Who won the game? Who won the game?
But you have to take your...
Who won the game?
Glasgow, and to their credit, did it without like 18 internationals on their side. And they held on to first place, which is even better. Gift, what caught your eye?
Hey, that Stormers-Sharks game, I was impressed. They actually look like the Sharks are actually trying again for once. I mean, I assume it's going to be a facade and they're going to return back to the mean, but at least they look like they are trying to actually win and play like they have all-stars on their team. Or they're playing like Kiosi's about to leave and go to the Bulls and get as much as they can out of him as they possibly could.
Hey, King, you got a hookup down in South Africa where you can tell us when the Sharks decide to show up? Because when they show up, they're really good.
I'm trying to, every single time I try and get with my guy, he keeps feeding me the wrong information. It gets week to week mixed up.
Because when they don't want to show up, they look like Matt's Hoboken Hillbillies team.
Hoboken.
That's where you're from,
Hoboken Hillbilly. Hoboken Hillbilly.
That's exactly what it is.
All right, okay. Couple of things caught my eye. First one, my eyes couldn't really see the Benetton versus Scarlets match, which was an absolute farce. Complete fog covered the game in the second half. You couldn't see anything, and that's why none of those players can be qualified for our Player of the Week or our Grown-Ass Man segment, because you couldn't see any of them. Another thing that caught my eye, Ulster only has redheaded scrum halves. This time it was Connor McKee for Doak. I'm looking at this match, and it looks like Doak, but smaller. And then Stade Francais had a huge opportunity gift. You picked them to win their second road win in a row, and they got absolutely mollywopped by Montpellier.
Go figure.
Way to go, Stade Francais. Let's go to our next recurring segment. Player of the Week. The nominees are Grant Williams, the number 11 of the Sharks. 2 savvy tries, each daggers to the hearts of the Stormers, whom he caught napping and made pay very dearly. Stedman Gans, the number 13 of the Bulls, all over the pitch, explosive with the ball and ferocious on defense, opened up the field offensively for the interchangeably potent back three of the now resurgent Durban side. Cahal Ford, the number 12 for Connick, did it all. Blocked a kick, grabbed the ball, and had a great run to set up the first try. Joined them all in the 91st minute for the bonus point try and kicked the conversion from the most difficult angle. Mike Friday, who's your Player of the Week?
Rich pickings. I'm going to give it to Grant Williams. He was electric. He ignites things in what was a dour week. Got over for a couple, and he's been lively for South Africa and the Sharks. So Grant Williams, versatile, 9-11. He doesn't really care, but what he's come up with is again 2 more tries, 2 clever tries.
John.
I'm going with Grant Williams. The Sharks, when they show up, they're pretty freaking good. It just we need King somehow to find the input down there to figure out when they decide to play and when they don't. Because when they don't, they're god awful. But when they do, they're really good and fun to watch. And Grant Williams.
Probably the key is playing South Africans in South Africa. That might be our point.
Yeah, when they have the derbies or derbies, depending on where you're from. Gift.
Yeah, look, man, I'm making 3 for 3. Grant Williams on that one for a game that was as close as it was, despite the score saying it was a little bit more, but it was a close game all the way through. Those 2 tries really made a difference for the Sharks on it. And again, how many times do you get a chance to say the Sharks actually showed up and showed out?
Okay, all right.
Bam! Boom!
I was looking at Cahal Ford, the number 12, because he also kicks for points and he kicks for touch. But, it's playing against a depleted side, and the Sharks beat the Stormers, so that gets street cred. I got to go with Grant Williams and make it anonymous. So Grant Williams is this week's Player of the Week. Let's move on to Gift's favorite segment, Grown-Ass Man! Our honorary Grown-Ass Man this week is Uini Atonio, for whom we have the greatest respect and best wishes for a speedy recovery after the heart issue that has forced this 35-year-old giant and legend into retirement. Carrying on.
Wait a minute before you carry on. Did you tell Coach Friday that you're the only one that didn't vote for Lucas Friday for Grown-Ass Man?
That's water under the bridge.
King and I not only voted for him, we nominated him and then voted for him, and you're the only slapdick that didn't vote for him.
Mike, I know that you'll appreciate the fact that John is the biggest hypocrite on 2 feet. He said, first of all, a guy can't play with a scrum half. B, he has to be a certain size to be a grown-ass man. And I was sticking to the criteria that we had established for that
grown-ass men are grown-ass men. I don't care how big you are.
He's like the TARDIS. He's big on the inside. You know what I mean?
Bam!
There you go. Boom!
Bam!
And Mike, I have since realized my error, and I apologize to you and the entire Friday family.
I have a feeling the entire Friday family hate you because they're smart.
Carrying on, here's this week's nominees. Harry Bettle, the number 7 of the Dragons, lost in the dark hole that is his beleaguered Welsh side. And after a heartbreaking loss to the Ospreys at death, this undersized open side flanker at 5'10", 200 pounds has had as many as 30 tackles in a match and has earned our attention. Angus Bell, Ulster's Australian loosehead prop, looked like a nimble number 12. He got the ball in the open field, flexed some muscle, flashed ankle-breaking moves, and left Cardiff defenders and Cardiff fans absolutely apoplectic. And Sean Jansen, the number 8 of Connacht, is back for the second week in a row after scoring 2 tries and continues to emerge as a top defensive back row player with all-round performances that beckon international consideration. Mike Friday, who's your grown-ass man?
My grown-ass man is another TARDIS. Harry Bettle. Under-20s captain last year for Wales. He's brave, and to whack 30 tackles in a derby against the Ospreys that you've lost. And that's the only bit that niggles me, that they did lose it. But credit where credit is due. The young man, undersized man. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yes. Who? John.
I'm going with what Mike Friday said.
Of course you are, you
if
6'6" kiss ass.
If it were you, you'd give the Titanic the boat of the year. We don't do that shit on here. But that young man can play rugby, and I'm going with Mike Friday.
Gift.
We got the hat trick going on again. Going with Harry Bettle. Once again, how often do you get to say that a Welsh person is a grown-ass man, let alone one on the Dragons, let alone one that had it on a losing team? Like, hey, man, you know what? This is the week of anomalies since everybody's kind of transitioning to the next bigger set of games. So let's go with it. And plus, 30 tackles on it that's legit. That's legit. It'll never happen again. And I mean me saying a Welsh person is a grown-ass man. I probably wouldn't.
Way to spin it, Gift. Way to spin the hypocrisy of going off of a team or a player that didn't play on a winning team, which has also been the criteria for you guys every single time.
Apart from this week.
Standard criteria, except when a guy is a grown-ass man, has 30 tackles. This Welshman should host our show.
How do you look yourself in the mirror? That's disgraceful. So I'm going with Angus Bell, the dancing prop from Australia, playing in Ulster. He actually decided to play in Ulster coming from Australia, so he's certifiably insane. But I lose, you guys win. Harry Bettle.
Grown-ass man.
Let's break for commercial, bring George in, and then we'll come back with Six Nations.
You picked a dancing prop to be a grown-ass man.
We're going to 2 cents rugby.
I'm just going to dance around the answer.
Pick the dancing prop. You're going to get thrown out of the pug and whistle this weekend.
All right, with that, we're going to take a break, bring in George, then we're going to come back with Six Nations, Japan Rugby League One picks, and our picks of the week.
And dancing props.
After this.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
And we're back, and once again, welcoming in George Hook. George, how are you?
Well, this is a time of the year which is, in my view, the greatest time in rugby. It's the Six Nations, formerly the Five Nations. It's been around for the best part of 150 years, and every other country in the world, most notably New Zealand, would wish they had it. It is an extraordinary event, full houses everywhere, wonderful traditions. I used to listen to the radio, obviously, as a kid, and that's going back to 1948. From 1948 to now, this competition is it.
That segues perfectly, that opening, to our recurring segment with you.
Headlines with Hook.
First headline. George, talk to us about the Six Nations matches.
Well, it's not going to be Ireland. I mean, the injury situation in world rugby is huge because of the way the game is played now. So therefore, it is now about the big battalions. It's about the teams that have the biggest squad of players. Like Ireland has lost every quality loose head imaginable. They've lost a ton of prop forwards. They've lost a fullback. They've lost a wing. They've lost a centre. So they're going into this competition weaker than ever before. On the other hand, France have lost a ton of players. England have lost a ton of players, but they have bigger squads and therefore can cope. So Six Nations is going to be France 1, England 2.
Let me ask you this. Who's playing fly half for England and if you're coaching that team?
Oh, it's George Ford, without a question. Ford understands this game better than the options that he's got. Now, incredibly, they've sandwiched this game into less weeks. So Ireland are going to be playing with a weakened squad 3 games in 18 days. Can't be done. Can't be done. And astonishingly, for the first time, I think, in 150 years, we're playing a game on a Thursday. On a Thursday, for crying out loud.
And then they don't have a game on Friday. So they just have it, and no game on Sunday. So it's 2 games on Saturday.
Yeah. Wales, like, I cry. I honestly am tearful every time I think about Wales.
Well, you're not crying right now.
No, but Wales's best achievement would be to get 4th out of 6. If they got 4th out of 6, they'd be jumping up and down.
There is no way they're getting 4th out of 6.
I know, but that's what they see as the target. I don't know about Scotland. I can't work Scotland out, but I think they're going to be better than we think they are. So they're going to pull off a couple of wins that maybe are unexpected, but that's about it. And if Italy beat Wales, they'll be delighted. And that'll be Italy's target, to beat Wales. So it's France, England, and it's not Ireland, sadly, and we can't do it. We just don't have the depth. Now, it's bad enough looking at players getting hurt, but then when you read about a gigantic French prop, in effect, getting a heart attack, and you really think, I don't blame the game now, let me say, in this case.
And of course, we're talking about Uini Atonio. So
yeah, I mean, he's enormous. I mean, in American terms, he's about 300 pounds.
He's like 320, 325, actually. So
yeah. If Atonio had gone to his cardiologist and didn't say, I'm a rugby player, if he just said, hello, how are you? The cardiologist would say, not good being 325 pounds.
Yeah.
You know? So there probably was a health issue there anyway, but either way, we're very sad about it on a personal level. It's a big loss for France. I mean, he was a dynamic scrummager. He was important in the scrum. But France don't worry about the scrum. France will just want to play the game.
Yeah.
You just watch it and think, wow, you know.
Yeah.
It's irrepressible. I've wanted to watch them always. I remember them coming to Dublin just after World War II, you know. And like you can imagine the state France was in immediately after World War II. And they come with this enormous pack of forwards. And I remember one of the Irish newspapers said, I thought there was hunger in Paris.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're just great. If it's not Ireland, I want France to be top of the tree.
Ireland versus France. Who's going to win that one?
France in a canter.
Italy hosting Scotland.
Scotland will win. Not in a canter, but they will win.
England hosting your beloved Wales.
Yeah, that'll be a canter for England. Yeah.
27.5 points worth?
Yeah, that's about right.
On that note, we are out of time. Thank you, Mr. George Hook.
Pleasure.
We'll be right back with John, Gift, and Mike after this.
Scrummy, a new rugby app where you can play fantasy, track fixtures, predict results, and follow player stats. Play Six Nations Fantasy today for your chance to win tickets to the Champions Cup final. It's about to get scrummy.
You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now. And we're back, and we're going to do some picks. But first, just a brief schedule update. Super Rugby starts on Valentine's Day weekend, with the playoffs starting the first week of June. Very simple, easy to follow. The Six Nations starts this week for 3 weeks, then takes 2 weeks off. It comes back March 6th for the final 2 weekends. That's not too bad. Thursday night kicks it off. No match on Friday. 2 matches on Saturday. No match on Sunday. These are the FanDuel spreads. France, minus 12.5 versus Ireland. The money line is France, minus 850. Ireland plus 490. John, France laying 12.5 at home versus Ireland. Who do you like?
I think France is going to absolutely boat race them. They're playing at home. This could be a very physical, very good rugby game. I think France covers.
Mike?
I'm with John. I think Ireland are in a bit of transition and a bit of bother, and I don't think they're clicking. And I think this French have got Dupont back. Dupont is massive for them. So I think France, Thursday night, under the lights, I think they do a proper job.
Gift.
Yeah, man, this is tic-tac-toe again. Look, I'm with it on it. I think France has this one. Again, it's at home. Ireland just doesn't have that magic they had like 2 years ago. And France, honestly, if they want to win, they'll win, and they'll win big.
Also, Ireland is decimated in the pack, especially in the front row. The tight heads.
So everybody went back home?
They all went back to Polynesia.
Yeah, because the Irish are known for their Polynesian props, Gift.
France with their best tight head as well, too. That's the same.
Boom!
Okay.
Bam!
I think you guys are right. I think France runs them out of the building. The next one up, Italy in Rome, plus 8.5 versus Scotland. John, who do you like?
Give me Italy. I think Italy's going to surprise them. I think Italy's going to come to play. I think this is going to be the game they're going to come out. And I think Scotland's going to be caught a little bit off guard in Italy. If this was in Scotland, I think Scots beat them by 15 or 20. There's something going on in Italy. These guys are playing good rugby right now. And I think there's a good chance that Italy covers. I would bet on Italy here.
I think Scotland has this one. I think Scotland covers this one. I think Italy is continuing to show that youth has confidence. They have speed. They have abilities. This is the game that Scotland tends to do well because they don't have to play up to anybody. It's the next one that Scotland begins their disappointing, and then Italy starts to play up to their opponent and upset people.
Oh, I think this is tight, this game. I think people underestimate how good Italy are at home, and it may fluster Scotland, who have been a bit iffy second half. I think it's an interesting one. I think 8.5 is a bit heavy on Italy. So I don't think they cover. I would take Scotland because I don't think Italy will cover. So it's either a Scotland win or Italy not to cover. But if you're on that money line, I might speculate a little Italy win. I think I've hedged.
I like that so much. We're going to discuss that in Picks of the Week.
I'm going to go with Scotland to easily cover that 8.5 against Italy. And
so how much are they going to win by, Matt? Big talker.
They're going to win by 11 points, John.
You want to bet that?
Yeah, I'll bet that. I think Scotland wins by 11. Let's take a break, and we'll come back with England versus Wales, Japan Rugby League One picks, and our picks of the week after this. From New York City comes America's longest-running and most popular rugby show. The biggest names in Major League Rugby, MLR highlights, and big match previews. Rugby Wrap-Up presents MLR Weekly, made in New York City.
It's 2026! Different year, new opportunity, and where does that start with? Your health. Health Enhanced Food is here to be able to make sure you get on the right path. We got 17 baking mixes just to be able to help you set you on your proper pathway. Whether you're taking it from the spectrum of ketosis, needing keto diet, gluten-free, or you need something more serious because you're diabetic, have renal failure, it's time to bake yourself into the best form that you ever have been. Head to healthenhancedfoods.com, use code RugbyOdds to be able to get 25% off your first order. And of course, Matt, no, just stop talking. Just guys, stop him.
And we're back. And again, these are spreads from FanDuel. England minus 27.5 at Twickenham versus Wales. John.
It's if England wants to win by 27. If they want to win by 27, they're going to win by 27. If they want to win by 37, they're going to win by 37. I'm not sure England wants to just run them out of the arena. I can't give that many points. I think Wales finds a way. I don't think Wales finds a way to stay within England. I think England finds a way to not beat them by 27.
Gift.
I think England does cover this one. The money line is crazy for this. And that speaks volumes. Yeah, I look at England to cover this one.
Mike, as the Englishman in this group,
Whoever's
what do you
done
think?
This spread's decent. It makes you think because it's a big spread. The back line's potent. They picked Freeman at 13. I just question the Welsh fly half. Wales have got a quality 9 in Williams. This Welsh pack will be nuggety, gritty. I'm going to be patriotic and say England will cover this. And their bench is strong. Again, Curry, Pollock. Whilst they're missing the props, it's still a handful coming off the bench.
That's boat race time.
Last 20 could be interesting.
I agree with you, Mike. We were disappointed by Wales last year, every time I was at least, thinking they were going to cover or they were going to do well, and they didn't. I think England destroys them in this match. With that, Mike, who do you like in Japan Rugby League One?
I'm backing my boys there, the Kabuta Spears to win at home against the D-Rocks.
John.
Wild Knights.
Gift.
Yeah, Blue Revs were my people last time, but it's time to go against them on this one. Kobe Steel to take that.
And I'm going with my Brave Lupus, the number 4 Brave Lupus, over the Honda Heat, who are in 9th place right now, and they might find themselves in 10th after this weekend. And with that, we come to our final segment, John's favorite segment, Picks of the Week, Johnny. Who do you like?
Well, Matty Dickhead, how about this? I love what Mike Friday said. I think that's a great hedge, and I completely concur. I think it's worth throwing a little bit of a few shekels on the money line of Italy actually beating Scotland straight up. Love what Mike Friday has with a great hedge here.
Mike.
I'm going for the overs in this England-Wales game. I actually think Wales will score some points. They will cause some problems for England because it's game one. There'll be lots of points, either one-sided, but I hope and anticipate that Wales will contribute.
King.
Yo, so I don't care about any of the picks that we've done so far. We got sevens back again. So Singapore happened last week. I hate the new format, and it's reducing the power of rugby bit by bit, but I'm going to give it some credence in this one. We'll be back with Perth, New Zealand women, Fiji men to do it again. Sorry, Australia.
New Zealand and Fiji win now before Ireland poaches all your guys for their back line.
They said, hey, we got to get down. Got to do some stuff for our country.
All right, you're muted, Gift. You're muted.
Join James Lowe in Ireland.
You're muted, Mike. And I'm going to go with my pick of the week is the over in the Ireland versus France match in France. I think France is going to score a lot of points. Ireland, maybe not so many, but I think it's going to beat the over. And on that note, we're out of time. I want to thank John Bradshaw Layfield, the WWE Hall of Famer turned rugby advocate, King Gift Egbelu, inventor of words, father of twins, Lucas Friday's dad, Mike Friday, the 3-time Olympic sevens coach, and Irish rugby legend George Hook. And thank you for tuning in. Check out MLR Weekly. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Tell your friends about us. Sign up for our weekly newsletter, and please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.